Okay, this is part 2 to my video about her hospital experience. And so Raylan's gonna tell you now what she remembers. Do you remember the ride over on the bridge?
A little bit.
A little bit. What do you remember from the ride?
I remember that I opened my eyes just like this, and then I saw a humongous thing of water up to the windows.
How were you feeling that whole day when you weren't feeling good?
I was feeling like
Like, was your stomach hurting? Like, what was?
everything was hurting that day.
How about in the hospital? Do you remember in the hospital in the beginning when we went, like when we carried you in?
When Daddy carried me in, I opened my eyes like a very little bit, and then I closed them back and I went to sleep.
So do you remember like when they laid you down on the bed and the doctors were saying you were in DKA? No, we got there like just in time. She was so dehydrated, they were poking her. I bet you they poked her 30 times. They had all these different people coming in with ultrasound machines. They kept saying she was so dehydrated they couldn't find her veins. And I was like, there's no way. Like, she has been drinking water all day. And I remember this nurse looking at me and saying, honey, that's what happens. Like, when they're in DKA, they can drink all the water in the world and they're still going to be dehydrated. When do you feel like you woke up, or what do you remember about being in the hospital?
And I woke up at like dark. And I woke up and I saw my mom and dad crying, and I was like, am I gonna die?
Oh, God. I'm so glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Do you remember when mommy slept in the bed with you in ICU, or not really?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And they were coming in all throughout the night. They had to take blood from her every hour for the entire night we were in ICU. What was something that made you happy in the hospital?
Going to the playroom.
Going to the playroom. They were awesome there. They were like, we can build bracelets, we can paint. What do you want to do? They were like all about having her. We had some great nurses and some great care, and they were really low on bed. So we had to share a room with a family, and that little girl, her appendix had ruptured. And do you remember that?
When she was crying a lot.
Yeah. And then when we were leaving, Raylan wanted to go get her a toy from the store, and she wrote her a card and was like, I hope you get better soon. What else do you remember about the hospital?
I remember when I was like really yucky and you gave me a washcloth bath.
Yeah. Made you feel
And
better.
it made me feel so good, but I had to bring this like big cart on me with me because it was like all hooked up to my arm because I had a bunch of IVs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when the girl, she was like checking to see if one of my IVs was bad, and it hurt really bad.
They had to change it.
Yeah.
She had like an infected IV. Do you remember like when we told you what happened? We told you you had type 1 diabetes. What did you feel like in that moment?
I was like, what in the heck is that?
Were you sad or scared?
Yeah, I was very scared.
Yeah. But then we did all those classes to learn about it, remember?
Yeah.
How about all the pricks and everything that you had to do? Was that hard?
Not really.
No? Girl. What was the hardest part about the stay?
Not being able to see Sissy and Bubba and all my other family.
Yeah, that was hard on them too. They were calling us crying, and we had some friends bring over Lisa and Bubba to visit us at one point, but during COVID they couldn't come in the hospital, but they let me take Raylan and her IV pole outside. So that was cool because we got to, visit and spend time with them.
Yeah, and I also remember when they gave me Rufus. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Rufus the bear. If you guys know, I'm sure you guys know who Rufus the bear is. He has type 1 diabetes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were ready to get out of there though, huh?
Yes.
And hopefully we don't go back.
Yes.
Except for next month to meet our new endo.
Yeah. Wait, do I have to get blood done?
No,
Okay,
not next
good.
time. All right, finish your hairdo.
Okay. I'm doing the beard trick. It's basically where you take pieces and then you just connect it and then you flip it over.
She'll show you.
Yeah. Very scared most of the time. When I first got to leave, like to go see my sister and my brother, and I felt the fresh air and I was like, it felt so good.
Do you remember what day you were diagnosed?
September 30th.
Yep, September 30th.
Because your anniversary is September 29th.
Yep. We were married on 10 years, September 29th, and she was diagnosed September 30th. What advice do you have for anybody, any parents or kids that are going through the diagnosis?
You got this. It may be hard, but you'll get through it.
Does it get easier?
Yeah, it definitely gets easier.
What can they not do? Does it hold them back from anything?
No.
She can do anything.
I gotta finish my beard.
Y'all can do anything.
Yeah. Okay, so I just said 4 hair ties, connected them on her ears. And then you gotta fix it up a little bit. Okay, so it looks like this.
Isn't that pretty? She does that on her own. She gets compliments on it all the time.